Host of Forged in Fire.
Kyle Mann.
I'm J. Warner Wallace.
Kira Davis.
It's Ben Adams.
Hey, this is Dave Baker.
Carrie Pomeroli.
This is Mike Reiner.
This is Ethan Nicole.
This is Leanne Morgan.
This is Graham Parker, the 5th GP, and this is why you should never.
How I got suckered in.
I'm so embarrassed that I'm here.
You're wasting your time. You got better things to do.
Never listen.
Those darling, yummy Reverend and the Reprobate.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Reverend and the Reprobate, a show about two best buds interviewing people they have no business talking to. I am Lucas Pinkert, a real-life Reverend, and with me, as always, is a man whose mom is one step away from the Fed. And we're not talking about the absolutely criminal banking system in the United States. We're talking about penitentiaries. It's Dan Whip Gibson.
Hey, how y'all doing? What's going on, big buddy?
Do you like my fake FM DJ voice?
Yes, I love it.
It's really hard to keep that
today
up.
on the crew.
Whoa.
On the drive. Oh, I hope y'all. Yeah, it's terrible.
I hate everything about it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Also, Camden is here.
I'm here.
And you'll be here. Well,
So it's time to heed to, trice up, mill about smartly around the premises, making sure that every computer you know of is turned to America's favorite podcast for music and news, the Reverend and the Reprobate, and remains that way in perpetuity.
BaconOffice.com if you're curious to check it out.
Yeah, check us out.
So today, we are continuing our
series on Camden
our
becomes
very fun
a Star War.
Yep.
We did find out pre-show that Camden is also a Lego.
I am.
We also found out lots of things that Camden is not yet, which is you're not a Hamilton.
You're not.
not.
You're not a Hamlet.
Nope.
not.
But you are a ham.
I am a ham.
You do like ham.
He loves a ham.
So we just started going down the H's.
Firmly Gentile, this particular Camden.
Camden is a Gentile.
Yep. But not genteel. Just a Gentile.
I think he's genteel.
You know what? The next time we have Tom Leopold on, we need to see whether or not he can help you get rid of some of your Gentileness. We'll just have him.
He would probably love
he
that.
would probably love that. But a really interesting thing happened on the way to the Roman Forum today is we got a little mail.
Whoa!
Hey,
got some mail from the mailbag.
This
Danley and Lucas and the Rev and Rep get some mail. We're gonna open it. I'm making an effing
right
terrible
here
drive
on
time.
The air. You know when you say FM
It's the
really quick,
mailbag.
it sounds like you're letter cussing.
Rev and Rep mailbag.
And we're
FM.
making FM songs. And it's like, whoa, hey, calm down. No reason to get so salty about it. But we have some fan mail here from Slappy.
HES from Slappy.
From Slappy, courtesy of the ladies at Tea Time Crimes. Look
I
at
was
her.
going to say, I know
In
who
frame,
this is from.
In frame with Camden. There is Slappy and Slappy's friend Bob. Now, Bob, from what I understand, is way, way, way less about butts than Slappy is. If you've listened to...
recap this.
Yeah, so
real quick.
if you watched our episode with the ladies in Tea Time Crimes, Megan's 5-year-old son has a fascination with ventriloquist dummies. We purchased one for them because she said she didn't want to get him one, and we thought, well, why wouldn't you want to make your kid's dream come true? Mm-hmm. Since then, if you listen to...
We did it in our special way.
We did. So if you have listened to any of their episodes, they actually have a featured episode that we're on. We talk a little about Slappy, and
which you may know from Goosebumps, R.L. Stein,
the Scholastic Classics.
If you're 85 models like we are, you grew up with...
And actually, R.L. Stein has a new Goosebumps series called Slappy's World that is just like his, crazy planet. Well, her son has fallen in love with this ventriloquist dummy, and they've had a couple of really great adventures, one to the emergency room, and
in which he demanded Slappy attend.
He took the creepy with ventriloquist puppet with glow-in-the-dark eyes to the hospital with them, and then whenever they came home, he made his mom use Slappy's hand to rub his back and pat him on the head, and to... It's become a nightmare for her and her husband, which has been great for us.
Is Slappy a kosher?
I don't know that Slappy's kosher.
We'll have to ask Tom Leopold.
Another question for Tom Leopold. So, anywho, fast forwarding, they have since acquired, and we talked about this on our episode with them, where they featured us on one of their Tea Time Crimes. Slappy has gotten some friends, and they all do puppet shows together. Slappy tends to say a lot of the things that her son are like borderline not allowed to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's an evil doll. He
yeah,
gets away with
Slappy's
it.
pretty rude, but the good news is now they have Bob. Bob balances Slappy out and helps Slappy to stay in line. So it's all good. But this is from Slappy and Bob, as well as her charming young son picked out some things for our kiddos. Now, we haven't opened these gift bags, so I'm going to start with this first one that is for Levi.
How difficult are these to untie?
I have no idea. We're finding out.
I've never opened one.
To Levi from
it's easy.
Tea Time Crimes. We'll say that. But it says, my son picked all of these out. The only input I had was, no, you can't get them ventriloquist dummies. And yes, they like Star Wars from Megan and TCC. So
our sons
open this up.
Are a Star Wars.
Yeah, I think
yours is still cooking, but he's gonna be a Star Wars.
He's got all the like I'm a future Jedi outfits.
He's got the
and
Yoda
stuff like that. Yeah, like right
the
now
Yoda stuff.
He had his first trip to the mall today, and he's got a stroller that's a bassinet, so he can just like stay on his tummy and do tummy time and like roll over in the stroller.
It's just like Grogu.
It really does look like my wife took something straight from like the 1800s in the Wild West, like the baby stroller bassinet, and she just has it and she just pushes him through the mall and he's in his Grogu outfit and just smiling at everything. So here's what we got. I have no idea what this is. Very solid.
Every time you say I have no idea, it sounds like you know.
I wish I did. These are, very nice. These are...
They look to be maracas.
Looks like some eggs.
There's something. They're eggs for sure, and they're in plastic. And so I apologize to all of our audio listeners that are just hearing like all of the ASMR that we've got going on. Whatever they are. You're right.
Maraca.
They're maraca
It's an
eggs. Here's a clown. Several clowns. This is a ladybug. He'll love that. This is the primary colors plus green. Who doesn't love that? This, I think, is painted... Okay, so first off, I don't understand why all this stuff for babies is red, blue, and yellow, primary colors, plus green. I don't know. Why not plus purple? Why not plus orange? Plus green on every one of them.
Let's ask Tom Leopold.
I do love this. The very traditionally painted...
What does that reminds me of something? The pattern.
Yeah, it looks like
flower?
a maraca pattern. Like it looks like the legit patterns that they put on maracas.
All right, next one.
These are phenomenal. My wife is going to hate that I play with this all
We
the
should
time.
give one to our drummer.
All right, let's go with one of the ones for Kale.
All right, let's see what the note
Thank you
says.
very much, Megan and Megan's son.
2 Cage from Slappy.
Yeah, here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
All right.
Very scary intro on this one.
Yeah.
I've never received...
You've never received a gift from a ventriloquist. That's why we're opening them and not our children.
Yeah, I don't know how dangerous this is going to be.
Actually, we did have a conversation about having the kids come on and open them. And the biggest thing that we were working about logistically is we already have a kid on the show with Camden. Why are we going to bring 2 other kids on the show? And I think it just worked out. Levi is not to the age where opening presents is something that's really in his wheelhouse yet.
Here we go.
Oh.
It is a Darth Vader and Stormtrooper thing.
What are they? Salt and pepper
it's just
shakers?
like
Ceramic salt and pepper set. He will love this. He started cooking, actually.
Okay, well, but here's
He took my recipe on hamburgers.
Since he isn't here, do we just keep that? Like, does that just become ours?
He does know it's here, but he doesn't know what was received.
Right.
So I can say, I don't know, they sent you, this plastic spoon.
Yeah, here you go. This is really nice. Hurts.
Very cool.
Darth
Vader Stormtrooper salt and pepper matching set. He will love it.
All right, and I have.
I'm gonna give it to him. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to this.
The second of Levi's present here.
Don't worry about you.
From
the good pastor says.
From Slappy and TTC, and this is.
He's an evil good pastor.
A Jedi You Will Be, a storybook. This is fantastic.
Is it signed by Slappy?
No, it's not. But it was gift wrapped really well. You know what I'm gonna do is because this, as I'm looking through this book, it takes place on Dagobah. I'm using our.
Why don't you open that one?
I'm using our shakers. I'm using our maracas to add ambiance to this whenever we read it. I can be your backpack while you climb.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. This is awesome. This is being read tonight to young Levi. All right,
Camden,
Camden.
would you do the honors?
Yes, sir.
Are you not going to read the card?
Is there a card? Oh, there is one.
Yeah, there is.
I didn't even notice that.
There is. We're omitting one name.
To Kale from Megan.
Good
Hey,
job.
there we go. There we go. All right, and it's being opened.
We don't want y'all
I'm
nosy.
trying to- There we go.
Yeah.
Y'all know. Just stay in your lane.
Look, they have a podcast that specializes in talking about serial killers. That attracts a certain type of person that doesn't need to know the name of everyone's children. That's all I'm saying. Ooh,
But they know ours.
what is that?
But we don't
I
do
don't know
serial
what it
killers.
No, you don't know what it
Maybe
is.
sometimes.
Continue to open it.
We do kangaroos
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
and Gentiles.
Are we
stuff.
gonna do kangaroos? Have you emailed them back?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Well, we're still working on it.
Okay.
But we're trying to. We're trying to do kangaroos, Gentile things, and I was not far off. What is it?
It's a fork that says, "May the fork be with you."
Maybe I have the force.
I don't think so.
Very cool. Here, you got a fork.
Yeah.
And Dad got salt and pepper
Premonition.
shakers.
Premonitions, for
Very
sure.
cool. May the fork be with you. Hysterical.
That-
also,
that is a brilliant gift.
well-made fork.
Yeah.
Good as
I
far
don't-
as forks go.
Good as far as forks go.
Is it?
And-
hold on, let me see this for just a second. Does this have some of the silverware like this comes with like a special
It's stainless
case
steel.
for the fork?
and this
That is
comes
the fancy case for the fork.
I want to see this.
and the compliment good as far as forks go come from a man who knows metalworking.
yes, yeah, from Camden, the Tensegrity King, the Prince of Tensegrities.
Camden's got integrity.
I got to put this in the proper way. So Camden, you brought some show and tell with you today.
I did.
Will you will you move your chair and then show
Will you-
here in the center
will you
cam
move?
what
I'll
it is
try.
that you've got going on?
Yeah, tell us about your integrity table. First off, it looks amazing, and we already
thank you, Megan and Alana, very
Yeah, oh,
much
yeah, yeah.
for
Yes.
for the kind gifts
Yes.
and the picture, which will now be part of our set from now on, because this was done on real sketch paper. It's nice paper.
Cool. And Lucas and I already tried to break this table.
It's unbreakable.
Yeah,
How do you want me to
pick it up.
Here, can we not pick it? I mean,
I
we can
don't
pick it up
understand-
like this, right?
Yeah.
We can hold it by the chains. There you go.
I don't understand
I don't want
how
it to. I don't want it to pinch me, whereas my grandma
because
says,
these are chains.
"Pinch."
These are not solid. If you
Yeah.
can see that they move.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So how does this
I don't
work?
understand how a table like this has so much integrity.
Like, what level of mage do you have to be in order for this to work? Like, which level of Knight Radiant did you
I
become?
want to know that too.
The maximum.
The maximum.
So how does it work? I don't understand it.
So the center
Here,
chain.
I'll hold it so you can talk.
The center chain is what actually like supports it. This is what is holding the weight of whatever's on top of the table. And these outside chains, like, they hold the tension to prevent it. It tries to fall over, but it can't because of the tension from the outside chain.
Hence the name Tensegrity. Cool. So you rightfully shamed me when I said that you made this with some boards, and you said I was welding it. So my
Well, yeah,
question
'cause-
is, my question, I'm gonna ping pong this back to you.
Yeah, here's his quenching.
How is this a table when you cannot put anything on it?
Because
Yeah.
it's not technically
Where-
done yet.
So what are you going to
Oh, so,
add to
yeah.
it? Are you going to add some boards?
Like a marble slab?
Sure.
You know, I wonder if maybe you shouldn't add anything, and this can be like what we mount our mics to, like right in front of us.
That would be a baller idea.
That would be
but
super
it is his school project.
dope.
Did we just steal it?
Yeah.
Dang, that's not nice.
Well,
Do you need it for a grade still?
what are you going to do? Keep
No.
it in your Eclipse?
Yeah.
Showgirls? The seat won't go back now, babe. That's where I got my 10 segment table. you need to know I got welding skills. I'm a provider.
Welding
Yeah.
skills are
Hey.
in high demand.
Baller right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy that is friends with our good friend Dr. Chris Respis, and he was a welder who went to Ohio State, and he created he created a good portion of the International Space Station because he's a welder, and he just welded it all together, and like now it's in space.
to be a pretty dang good welder.
I'm sure he's pretty good.
Let's
He's
get
pretty good.
that guy on the show.
I would love to. Thanks again, Megan and Alana, for the amazing gifts. Camden, thanks for the show and tell on the tensegrity table. How do you spell that?
I don't know.
Look, him didn't get learned at school.
Shouldn't
to
that be one of
spell.
the things like when
him learned how to weld?
Do you know how like your mom will sometimes say like if you can't spell a word you can't use it?
Can't say it.
Yeah. I think if you can't
I
spell
can't
something,
spell half of the words I say.
I think if you can't spell something, you're not allowed to build it. So
I can
if you
spell it, but not off the top
want to
of my
know,
head.
listen to me. If you want to earn that tensegrity table back from this studio where it's gonna live, you got to figure out how to spell it properly. So on today's show, we are back
I
with
flip out.
Camden Becomes a Star Wars, episode 6.
Return of the Jedi
Yeah.
is on the docket for today.
Yep. So first, let's get your overall review and thoughts before we get into all of the questions that you have, because I see that there's a lot here.
What's our rating going to be today?
lot
We've
of-
done the first one was hair buns.
8.
Yep.
It was 8 out of 10.
8
hair
out of 10
buns.
hair buns. The second
I forget
was,
what that was.
lopped off hands.
Yeah, lopped
Yep.
off hands.
This one has got to be
Dead Yodas.
okay. Dark, but how many?
Are you okay?
How many?
I don't like
Hold on.
any part of that. But okay, yeah, if that's it.
Oh, sorry. We don't have to do that.
No,
if-
it's fine.
How many Yodas that are dead at 8 out of 10? 10 out of 10.
How many
1 out of 10.
How many
I was-
late Yodas out of 10 is this?
No, wait. X Yodas.
X Yodas. Okay.
I say 9.
9 out of 10
X
X
Yodas.
This one,
Yodas.
I think this one's my favorite so far.
Wow.
That was my favorite.
He gets a
growing
point
Up.
for every 100 years. Because when 900
worked
years old
out.
you reach, look this good you will not.
Yeah, just dang show else.
Yep. So, so 9 out of 10.
I think so.
So this is your favorite then of the. What made this one of your favorite? Was it Yoda dying? Since that seems to be
No.
what you're keying in on.
That was the biggest shock to me because I didn't know he died.
Oh, you knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father, but Yoda dying.
I did not know that Yoda dies.
Boy, that's a stab in the heart, isn't it?
It was
That's a
I
dagger.
thought he was just gonna take a nap or something, and then Luke was gonna leave, and I don't know.
And
And
then
then he just lays
disappears.
down and just disappears, and I was like, oh, he's dead. Okay.
He became one with the Force.
He turned into midichlorians. You'll find out later.
Actually,
I
you'll
don't
find out
even
in
know
a
what
couple
you
of
said.
weeks.
Yep. All right. So,
So,
what
okay.
questions do you have? This has been my favorite part
Well,
of the review.
I want to
Go
know.
ahead.
I want to know
Do
like,
it your
what,
way.
what other couple of
do,
things
do it
he
your
really
way,
liked.
Burger King.
Yoda, thank you very much. I'm char grilled and impossible. I am Burger King's menu. So okay, so you liked Yoda. You were shocked by Yoda's death. What other were like some of your favorite things in this one that don't have to do with your questions?
For one, I liked. I'm not sure what planet it is, but the jungle planet with the little dudes.
Dagobah.
Towards
Endor.
the end of the movie.
Endor.
Yeah.
With the
I
Ewoks.
thought that whole planet looked really cool.
Yeah.
With,
Endor's pretty dope.
And all the little, I don't remember what they're called, but the little guys.
Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those people, I liked them.
How about that chase scene? I mean, there's so many good parts of this
Yeah,
movie.
one thing I thought about the chase
Ewoks
scene
are busting.
Speeders.
is
Ewoks are
busting.
I say that. I say it to my son. He
Does
says,
he just hate it?
"Yeah." He says, "I can't ever say that again." I go, "Good. Well, good then. You learned your lesson."
Good. It sounds stupid when it sounds dumb when I say it. It's
Bussin'?
worse when you say it.
Bussin' is not a real thing.
No, it's dumb.
that's one of the slang terms I don't really use.
Good. That's why we like you and we'll keep you on
You
this
are
show.
bussin'.
You will continue to be employed here as our unpaid intern as long as you hate things like busted.
Okay, please continue.
Yeah.
One thing I thought about the jungle chase was why didn't Luke use his lightsaber more?
Because he uses it at the end, right, to chop off the front of the speeder,
Yeah, but why didn't he just use it
like while he's.
more?
I think it probably.
What would he hit?
So
I guess when he's
he
banging into the
uses
other
it, he uses it once he's off of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so with those speeders, I guess
What-
we're into the question portion now that you're asking questions. All right, so when you're in those speeders, I'm going to look at my camera and do it. You use both to go forward, right? But it drives like a zero-turn lawnmower. So if you were to take your hand off of one, then you just start going in circles to the left while you hold the lightsaber.
But I am with you. Like, it did always bug me when they're side by side and they're just kind of nudging each other.
Yeah, like
Just
at
for a
that
little-
point, he could have
for
just
a
been
while.
like, "Wah-cha!"
Yeah, but as soon as he takes his hand off, if he's got the throttle down on the other one, it starts turning in that direction. So
I see.
there are reasons. There are reasons for things in Star Wars, people.
There are.
Yeah.
Some of it is they had to make another movie. And
Yeah.
Well, this one was technically supposed to be the end. So,
no.
huh?
I mean,
I mean, there's the
technically.
prequels, but this was supposed to be the final,
Of the three.
the
Yeah.
final in the timeline.
He did have a plan for 9 movies when he made these. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I
I don't know. I don't know
6
enough
was supposed to be the
able
final one.
to speak into that. I think after this one, he thought about the possibility of more stuff. That there was a grander lore.
Let
that
us
he
know in the
talked about,
comments
but
who's
yeah.
right.
Probably me.
Okay, keep going. Keep going then,
like
Mr.
Another
Correct.
thing,
Like
another
young
thing I did not
confidence.
know was
Correct
that Leia
'em.
was Luke's sister.
Oh,
I did not
really?
know that.
Yeah. So, how you feeling about that episode 5 kiss
Yeah,
now?
you may remember us talking about a smooch,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that.
and I used the word smooch like 8 times.
The other day I was listening to the episode, and that came up, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I
So
wanted
should we
to
have-
mark this special occasion where his sister gives him a big old spite smooch.
Yep. So should we have like ranked this instead of dead Yodas?
Yeah.
Should we have ranked it in salty sibling spite smooches?
I think that one would probably be
3
better.
S's. That was good.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
I counted 4, but I got it.
Salty sibling smite smooches. Yeah, you're right.
All right, come on, baby.
Okay.
All right.
Way
Next
to, way to
question.
overachieve, Burger King.
One in a row.
So
You got them
Let's-
written down. Why are you umming? Just
wait,
like
wait.
go down the
'Cause-
list.
let's go with we open up with Han Solo
Yeah.
still missing and
Oh,
his
yeah, yeah,
friends
yeah.
coming to save him.
Yeah, because this is
They
one of
go-
the storylines you wanted resolution to.
Yep, and
Yeah.
they go to Jabba's palace, right? Open up on the fat lizard.
I thought he looked very, very much better than the CGI version.
Yes, correct.
Agreed. Absolutely
The puppet
agreed.
looks a million times better.
What did you think about his little pet Kawaki and monkey lizard?
The one that lives in his belly button.
The one that with the creepy laugh?
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah,
That's
that
not
was
dead on, but that's
That's
not
pretty
bad.
close, yeah.
that was
Appreciate it.
That was what?
Appreciate those props.
pretty good.
Yep. What else you got?
You thought he was pretty good?
You thought he was pretty.
No,
did you think
I was
he
saying
was
his
pretty good?
laugh.
Danley's
Oh.
impression was pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay,
I
that
thought
makes
he
a little
was
bit more sense to
super
me.
No.
creepy.
Yeah, the little thing is pretty
Yeah.
kind of.
So Jabba.
Yeah. Jabba,
we
way
also
better.
see-
And his little tail flicker at the end.
Yep.
When Princess Leia
We see the
kills
song.
Jabba
This
the
is
Hutt.
also the intro of the Rancor, which is that huge monster.
Yeah. One thing I
Legendary
thought about during the
beast.
fight with him is why doesn't Luke just use his lightsaber? Was he like trying to keep it a secret that
Well,
he had it?
he didn't have
during
it.
that fight.
Yeah, he didn't have it.
He didn't. He uses it like right after they leave, though.
He uses it in the Sarlacc pit when he's about to fall in, and R2D2 shoots it up in the air. So R2D2 had it the whole time.
Arturito.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Have you seen
Okay.
Pedro Pascal? No, it's not Pedro Pascal. It's the guy that plays Cassian Andor. That I can't remember his name right now. He's doing an
haven't
interview
watched
on
Andor.
It's really good.
I know,
He's
I've
doing
heard.
an interview on a late night show, and he for his entire life
R2D2.
thought that R2D2's name was Little Arthur because Arturito is he thought it was Arturito, which is Little Arthur. He didn't realize it was R2D2. And so I was on Jimmy Kimmel. So he asks Kimmel's like right? He asks Kimmel's like uncle that's there that does security for him. He's like, "What did you think?" He's like, "Oh yeah, Little Arthur," the whole time. And that's like a thing. And
Is this his security guy or I'm trying to remember his
yeah,
little
whatever his
sidekick.
thing is, yeah. But But yeah, there's a lot of people in Mexico that believe it's
Little
C-3PO and Little Arthur, and they're
That is
blown
pretty-
away
that's
whenever
pretty
they
funny.
see that it's R2-D2. They're like, "Who's R2-D2?" I thought it was Arthur. It's not Little Arthur. It's not Arturito.
Little baby Arthur.
Yeah, nope. That's exactly what they
It's
thought
like
it was.
Papacito or whatever. No, it's not. It's not like that at all. Okay, so Sarlacc pit, which Han falls into, or he begins to fall. Boba Fett. We see the exit of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
What did you think about Boba Fett being lost into the Sarlacc pit?
Remind me what the Sarlacc pit is again?
That's the
the
creature
giant-
of the teeth and the big pit that they fall into. They try to get Luke to fall into it.
Yeah, the hole with the beak that comes out of it.
And he
Oh, yeah.
and he jumps off and grabs his hands onto
Yeah.
the diving board and flips back up and grabs the lightsaber.
Epic.
It was cool, but why? Just R2 just go and send me that. Okay, thanks.
I do have a question about your opinion, because you felt like in episodes 4 and 5 that Luke was whiny.
He was. I think it's odd that like there's the like he kind of like sucks like in his no I'm saying in his like in his I'm saying in his like skills, like he's not very skilled.
Yeah. He's not very skilled.
And then this movie starts with him going to Jabba the Hutt's palace, and he's just freaking like OP.
Yo, he's baller.
yeah, for sure.
He's got a
Like
black,
was he
black
just,
cloak
like,
on.
constantly training with Yoda off screen and between the two movies?
Okay, so there's a weird theory about this, and that is, like the whole thing with the space-time continuum, that like based on gravitational fields and things like that, time can pass differently in different areas. There is this theory out there that time on Dagobah passes much, I guess you would say much more rapidly than it does in other places. That like a day to us might be 5 days on Dagobah. So like for every Luke was gone for 2 weeks, right? But what he really got was 2.5 months of training because of the way the time passes on Dagobah.
Are you an Interstellar?
I have not seen Interstellar. I've been meaning to watch it for a while
That-
now. But
that's why I didn't try to go that route too, because I was like,
I figured.
I don't think you're a Christopher Nolan
Yeah.
I've seen some Christopher Nolan movies.
that aren't Batman.
Are you a Dark Knight?
Yeah, that's it. He's seen the Batman movies, and that's it. So, yeah, well, in Jabba's palace, and we'll get more to this, I have on this computer screen in front of me an original digitized version of the VHS copy that I own of Return of the Jedi from 1988.
Yeah.
And what this contains
was a good one.
is a lot of stuff that you didn't see and a lot of things that have been modified. So I want to show you a few of these things.
Does it contain that one singing lady?
Okay,
No.
talk to me about the singing lady.
She's freaking annoying.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
she is.
so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you
She was
this,
on
and
screen
we'll
for like
we'll
5 seconds. But
we'll pop it up for our audience later to where they can see it on the other screen. Okay, so here we've got Boba Fett, who's happening. There's the Twilight Dancer. That is the singing lady from the
it was
original.
it was a puppet.
It was a puppet, and that scene is an entire song.
It's
It
not
is.
just like one little line.
It's really, really different. And listen, the song is not even the same.
Yeah, it sounds completely different.
All of that was changed for the special edition stuff because George Lucas was never happy with the way that song was done. And do you know what they call this genre of music?
Oh no.
I do not.
It's space jazz. George Lucas termed it, and this is what it says in the actual scripts, as jizz. That is the genre of music that this is, and so he did not like this particular tune.
Look at this wholehearted young fellow.
But
You are genteel.
he
Not one giggle.
But he did not think that this particular jizz song was as good as the one he would like to have inserted later. So they swapped it.
Now
Odd, right?
We're gonna have to bleep you out of this now.
I'm using the proper term for Space jazz.
Also, is
Yeah.
Huttese a real full language?
Yes, it is.
Good question, young Camden.
Yeah,
Because
and it
in
is-
the subtitles it says sings in Huttese or whatever.
Yeah, so you've got, and you'll experience this when you watch the Clone Wars, is you have several different Hutts, but primarily you've got Jabba, Zero, and Gardola are the three primary Hutt bosses that you'll encounter.
But they're full languages, there are
Oh, yeah.
nerds that speak it.
I don't know about that. I don't know that it's Elvish or Klingon where it
That it's
is
a
an
fully fleshed
entire
out.
language.
Hey, tell me a little bit about the Hutts, the species, because they're resistant to disease. They live really long. They're highly intelligent. They're super strong. They have all these weird things that I didn't think of when I first saw him. I thought he was a slug that probably couldn't move.
Yeah.
And he may not be able to as much now, but
So they're
now that he's dead.
and really and a little bit of a spoiler alert here, but the initial Clone Wars movie before the series started, the Clone Wars animated movie deals a lot with Jabba the Hutt's son, his pupa. Because they are a slug creature. They have a larva state and a pupa state and all that stuff. But yeah, they're incredibly strong. They're incredibly powerful. And because they live so long, they have kind of controlled the underworld and the Outer Rim because they've gained so much influence and things over time. When they're in their adolescent stage, they're supposed to be pretty mobile. But then they get up to where they're, 6 or 7 galactic tons. So Jabba could have been
let's face it.
1,400 pounds.
If I live 1,000 years somehow and I have all of this power and influence, I'm going to want people to carry me around too.
Yeah, no doubt. Which we see we see one of his relatives that kind of happens in
the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, and I don't remember who that is. But
It's the twins. That's all I remember. I
Yeah,
don't remember
yeah,
their
it
names.
was the twins. That's right.
But let's get back on track.
Yeah. Next, so you've got all of the stuff that happens at Jabba's palace, which is just wild. Han gets freed. The Rancor, which did not get enough screen time in my estimation. Such a cool monster. What did you think about the Rancor's trainer?
That's what I was about to bring up. I said I feel bad for him because he goes up to him and he's all sad and right next to him.
Yeah, he's
It really-
real weepy.
Yeah, it takes an odd turn on the feel of it, where you go from celebrating the death of this thing and you go,
And then some
maybe
shirtless chubby
it
guy
was
comes
kind of
and
a
starts crying.
yeah. I mean, it would be like someone killing, maybe a vicious dog that is someone's pet, but
Right.
but they use it to hunt, and whatever it's hunting is not having a great time.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting too.
I certainly don't believe that the Rancor's meals were having a great time.
No,
All
0
right.
stars.
Yeah. What else you got, Camden?
Whenever Leia gets lost and that's whenever she finds the Ewoks, why can't Luke just force find her?
Great question. No idea.
Yeah.
I don't think the Force works like Marco Polo or like a GPS.
Well, he can
pings.
communicate
It does that
to
one
her.
time. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think he can get general area, right? Because we kind of get that in the Thrawn series.
How about
but the Emperor is way stronger with the Force than Luke is.
how about a reckless just theory?
Okay.
The Emperor is very nearby. Maybe Luke is hesitant to use his Force powers.
That could be very likely because he does get a lot of stuff from Darth Vader while he's on Endor as well. Yeah.
Plausible? I don't know
Plausible.
if it's accurate.
Yeah.
What else? I love your questions.
Yeah,
You have
these are great.
questions.
This is a lot of fun for
Yeah.
us, even if your grandma thinks I talk too much. Love you, Donna.
I also wrote the little Ewok dude is cool. Can C-3PO shut up?
Still cannot shut
He
up.
says, so I can barely read what I wrote, but he says, come back, then hurry up, then scold him for coming back. I don't remember exactly when that is in the movie, but
C-3PO is terrible.
So,
I'm with you.
what do you think about C-3PO's programming almost making his friends get killed? Because he's like, it's against my programming to impersonate a deity. And then his friends are just going to be rotisseried until Luke's like, tell them you'll be very angry. And they all laugh and he picks him
and then
up.
he just flies him. And
Yeah.
they're like, wow!
Yeah.
Actually, you mentioned the Ewok.
Yes.
we have. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. The actor
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
This is the first, I believe, on film at all. Warwick Davis, who's a very
Really?
famous
I know
short
who he is.
actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's inside of the little Ewok. He was, I believe, 13 when this
Really?
was filmed, and his grandmother convinced him to go try out for the film, and he gets cast, and then the world is his oyster after that.
So the guy that played R2D2 was supposed to be the main Ewok, and then he got injured, and Warwick was the only one that was gonna be that was like scheduled for multiple days of shooting, and they were like, "All right, kid, you're up. You're gonna do this because we've already got you scheduled for several days," and just kind of went with it.
There's a cool picture that I saw online of Leia. I can't remember her name either.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
In the forest with the young Ewok with his hat off.
Yep.
His head off, and it's just this little big kid.
Yeah, cute little kid who's just
Little baby Warwick.
so excited to be part of Star Wars.
Yep.
That's neat. And then now he became a Willow and traveled with an idiot abroad. And what was the other one that they did?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, he was in Harry
he's
Potter
in
as
a
well.
ton
Yeah,
of
he's in a
stuff.
bunch of stuff, man.
He was
Yep.
not Gremlins. The Leprechaun.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's in a ton.
Yeah, that dude.
He has
his
he
IMDb
has a
page
whole
is really
career.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yep. And he, by all accounts, a very kind, kind-hearted dude.
He was very nice to the idiot.
Was he ever a Jedi? Because there
Not
are a
that I'm
lot of
aware.
people that have come back and like made cameos as
Yeah.
Jedis that have been. Ahmad Best, most recently, the voice actor from Jar Jar Binks, plays a Jedi in the most recent season of The Mandalorian, which is very cool.
I'm not aware if he's coming.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. That's something that our producer should look up, but he's busy asking us questions. So,
All right. What's next? What else you got?
What else you got, man?
I wrote how I felt bad for the Ewoks because they died
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the fight.
Very gut wrenching when they get shot. Mm-hmm. And then the one cries over his friend that died.
Oh,
know.
yeah.
I think that's whenever I
that's-
wrote that.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're just little dudes that like live peacefully in the jungle, and then
And then but that's why we know that the Empire is evil, is because they do that. There are several.
Creation itself is fighting against the Empire.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think the Clone Wars series is so good for people to watch, is because it's isolated with the Ewoks in the original trilogy, but in the Clone Wars cartoons here in the animated series, we see so many instances where there are these like peaceful planets or these peace-loving people or creatures that just are on the outskirts of everything. They don't want to be part of it, and the Empire shows up, or the where the separatists show up, and this is
Tell them you process ore now.
no, this is where they decide they're going to test their weapons to see whether or not it'll kill clones. Is on this group of like peaceful people that have a
little
bunch
Ewoks.
yeah, and it's a lot of like Ewok type creatures that they get tested on and drive a lot of these things into extinction. And that's when Anakin shows up, and some of the stuff that drives him to be Darth Vader is the very cruelty that he'll channel whenever he becomes
A Star Wars.
a
Sith.
Sith. Yeah, there you go. I was like a dark side. Oh, there's something else for it. Yeah.
Yeah, a Sith actually works in this case.
It
What
does.
we're trying to do. All right, what else you got? Because we definitely have some scenes that were changed. We want to get into,
This
but
is the most egregious of all four
Mm-hmm.
films for us.
what do you mean?
That as far as like the offenses.
So do you remember we discussed that George Lucas went back?
Oh, you're
multiple-
talking about
multiple
that.
changes. Yeah, this one is the
So
one of
it-
the original trilogy.
yeah.
This is the one that's been
This one is my wife's
Taken
most
advantage
hated
of.
because of how much I talk about it. That I don't shut up about it.
yeah,
Whenever
and actually
it
it's about
comes
to
up,
be this weekend. It's back in theaters.
yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna go?
No, I told you about this. I'm
We're-
not going to the movies anymore.
We're debating going because I remember seeing this.
Is it the
special
original
edition.
or is it the?
No, it's the whatever
Yeah.
it is. If you want to see the original, you're gonna have to watch it on my laptop. So anyway, yeah,
That's still unbelievable
I know,
to me.
I know.
Just release it. They will make so much money.
Yeah.
All of the nerds in the world will go buy the despecialized edition.
yep.
They should release it on VHS again.
There
so
is
everyone's gonna
there
go
is a
buy it.
guy. I dove really far down this rabbit hole one day. There's a guy in somewhere over in Europe that, and I think he's particularly in Scandinavia. He took like 5 different versions of the movie because there's so many different ones that are out there. but he recreated the original trilogy from the Blu-ray stuff, and then like basically went in like frame by frame and like erased some old things, got rid of a bunch of the stuff from the special editions, like Greedo doesn't shoot first anymore. You don't have that funky scene with Han and
Stepping on Jabba's
the
tail.
Hutt, yeah. But you do have all of the upgraded special effects that
great.
were in there. Like everything else has been very updated and modernized,
of both
except for that. Yeah, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Most worlds.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, and I know
Yeah,
you
yeah.
agree.
Oh, yeah, I'm right here with
Release
you.
the original, unspecialized. Also do the, the in between. I'll buy both.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so many people.
I'll just take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last question before we hop into the egregious errors of episode.
This is the Reverend and the Reprobate puts Lucas on notice for things that he did in the 90s
And the early 2000s.
and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
What's the point of wings in space?
Huh?
Because
So you're talking about like the
a lot
shuttle,
of the ships
like the
have
shuttles
wings,
have,
but
like, the
there's
wings that
Oh,
stick out.
yeah.
the point of wings
There's
is
no
to
air
create lift,
resistance.
but there's no way
Right.
to create lift in space.
Well, they do go in atmosphere.
Yeah.
So they go
That's
in
true.
and out.
But whenever they're in atmosphere, couldn't they just use the same propulsion to?
So the propulsion to get them out of atmosphere is just straight up. Getting them through the atmosphere is variable. Whenever they're going
So I will
around
say
the
that I'm
planets.
interested
Yeah,
in this as well. That really what space battles would be like would not be what we see where they're swooping in. There would be rapid accelerating and rapid decelerating and then turning.
That's true because
And
they wouldn't be
accelerating
able
and
to just
decelerating,
turn
'cause
because
there's
they would
no
still be
air
moving in that
resistance.
direction.
If you were to look at the wings of an X-wing, right? Each one of the wings of an X-wing on the tip has a laser on the front and then a propulsor on the back.
What's a salvo?
A salvo
Yeah.
is a large number of shots fired at a specific time in a specific area.
Okay. I
Yeah.
heard that in the book, and I
the
can't
Thrawn books?
picture it. Yeah. Is that a
Yeah.
specific type of laser, or you're saying it's a manner of firing?
Yeah, it's a manner of firing. So if you were going to send a salvo at somebody, you were basically going to arm all of your
Fire
lasers
salvo
at that.
lasers.
Yep, and
That's
you're
what I
gonna
hear.
you're gonna fire them at that
That's a
area.
dead-on impression of
like
Arlani.
we're gonna go like 30 seconds.
There is Thrawn.
Oh, you're talking about Admiral Arlani?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's
We're just nerding out. In
when
this episode.
when you fire a salvo, that's what you do. So
Okay.
in particular with the X-wings, you've got 4 lasers that are on the tips of the wings, and then on the rear portions of that, you've got 4 propulsors that actually allow them to turn. So that's why you get some of the smooth turns. Now, from a shooting standpoint, all they did was like watch World War II movies about dogfights, and that's how they did it.
you have to
was
have
to
you have
recreate
to
that,
have
yeah.
some suspension of
Of
disbelief.
reality, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we talked about in the first episode, Star Wars is not hard science fiction.
Yeah.
Like not everything is explainable in there.
But it's a good
because
question.
made
What
for
are
kids
wings
and
in space
entertainment.
for? Nothing.
Yeah, to look cool.
It looks cool.
They
Yeah.
do look cool.
They do look cool.
I
That's
do
another
agree. The
thing I wrote
X-wing
is
makes
that TIE
sense
fighter
because
pilots' helmets look cool.
the X-wing opening up does make sense because there's 4 different
Mm-hmm.
laser, essentially weapons that can fire, making a spread.
Right.
I get that.
Yeah. And with the TIE fighter, it's a little different because it's a different type of engine, which was always the explanation. Well, it's an ion engine. It's not a rocket.
I feel like TIE fighters are
So-
just terrible designs.
The helmets are baller though.
Yeah, the helmet for the TIE pilots. Yep, those are
I thought
really
they
really
looked
cool.
really really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you could just like flick it away. I mean, they're massive, but let's move on.
All right. I think so. You gave it 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your overall rating for the sequel trilogy?
This wouldn't be the sequels. This would
Or
be
sorry, for the original trilogy. My bad. What's the overall rating for the original trilogy? Thank you for that.
Well, I guess
Shame be upon me.
I guess it
Smash
would be
that shame button.
Yeah.
It would be end up being like 8.3 or something because 8 plus 8.
I mean, no, I'm not asking you to average it out.
Rank.
I'm saying like now that you've watched them all, where do you rank it?
Yeah, number 1 favorite. Camden's number 1.
Oh, you're talking about like okay, you're talking
This
about
is the
like a
top
ranking.
3. What's Camden's number 1 and the 3?
So I'd say number 1 would be Return of the Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
and then I guess Empire Strikes Back,
Yeah.
and then the first one. I don't know.
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
A New Hope, yeah.
So if you were to rank this trilogy as a set of movies against others, how would you rank it? Because even though you ranked it like 8, 8, 9, right? as a set, right? Because like I love the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
But if I were to rank all 8 of the Harry Potter movies against Lord of the Rings, against all that stuff, I have.
Are you a
I
Back
have
to the
a
Future?
variable. I have a variable ranking amongst them.
I think I have seen Back to the Future, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
I
wouldn't be able to-
probably give the Harry Potter movies overall as a series like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I like Star Wars more.
Right? Yeah, because I like that trilogy more. I like the story that's told. You know, and some of those too, like when you get to the second and third parts of the trilogy, like retrospectively, they make the first and second movies better as you get towards the end. So overall, what's your ranking of the original trilogy?
I'd say a good like 8.5.
Okay. Nice.
Cool.
So the
I like
overall
those.
ranking is higher than the individual rankings.
So
there.
if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
were to put that in my own terms, I would say Camden digs it.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I do like
think
Star
so.
Wars.
Cool.
So let's talk about the evil that you saw in this Star Wars.
We agree that we love this movie too, and we hate the one you saw.
Absolutely. So we start with the stuff with Jabba, and we've already talked about that a little bit. The Sarlacc pit is one of the most bizarre things on the planet when you look at the way that it originally appeared.
Really?
Oh yeah. So the original Sarlacc pit was literally just like this hole in the ground that they were going to pitch him into.
It's a hole with teeth.
And yeah, it was just a hole with teeth and tentacles. It wasn't this like giant.
Like you saw the plant mouth that comes up, and that was not in the original.
No.
It was just a hole with like
Yeah.
tentacles around it.
Yeah, whenever someone would fall into it, it would burp.
Let's see if I can get us to. Here we go. I'm gonna rewind here just a skosh, and boom. This is the original Sarlacc pit. No beak, no funky tentacles coming out of it. It is a hole with teeth that just digests you slowly over 100 years.
Does it move?
No,
Or is it?
there's no movement. Just this like diaphragm right here just kind of moves a little bit as people fall into it.
I think there were some tentacles that would come up because they grab onto Lando's leg, I believe. Or am I misremembering it?
It's not. Here we go. Here's Lando fallen.
I think it does because Han shoots the tentacle, but that's it.
Right? Yeah. It's all really, really weird in what you see in the original.
Which was just thrilling to a young Reverend and the Reprobate.
Yeah, and there were so many things about this movie that were so unique from the others. You did have the Ewoks. You had some stuff or some things that were like very clearly made for kids.
Yeah.
And then some
Especially the burp.
things, yeah,
Paul said, blah.
right. And then some things that were sort of like aged with the audience. Carrie Fisher hated this one amongst all the movies that she made.
Hey, how about Princess Leia? Am I right?
What about it?
She's pretty.
Okay, yeah. So there are a couple of things where like tentacles drag some dudes down in there, but it's not the. It's
It
not
grabs
the
on
big
a
deal.
Lando. Han shoots it.
Yeah. So you do have.
Outside of that, there's very little.
You do have some of that, yeah. You've got that, what we already talked about. The music scene is way different in Jabba's palace than what you see at the end. One of the biggest, and I'm talking about the absolute biggest atrocities.
There's Greedo shooting first,
Yep.
and then probably this one for me.
Okay, so what
It's worse.
what is this one?
For me, it's the no.
Oh man. All right, so when Darth Vader lifts the Emperor up over his head to throw him into the pit?
The Emperor's shooting lightning at Luke, right?
Okay, right?
Uh-huh.
And then what does Darth Vader yell?
I'm assuming it's no.
He yells out, "No!"
He has a moment of no, and he's looking at the Emperor and at his son and just saying no, and then he says no, and then he goes and picks him up, right?
Yep. Here is
think I remember
that scene.
Way better.
So the Emperor is shooting the lasers at Luke, and you see not Ian McDermott, the Emperor, like the original Emperor, which I personally, as much as I love Ian McDermott, like this dude is scarier than the creepy, or than the very fake extra done up stuff.
You told me that they replaced him. I thought somehow he just had eternal life.
Well, which, maybe he loves Jesus. Like, I don't know.
No, I thought it was an unholy.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that's different here. Like this whole thing. Okay, so now is when in the new stuff you hear this climactic, no.
Yeah.
No. That was
Look at
something.
this. Look. He's looking back and forth. I'm getting goosebumps watching this.
Like, this is very dramatic.
Mm-hmm. He decides internally, and you get to have this whole dialogue of what's going on in your head. Instead, Lucas ruins it.
Okay, so there you go.
He does what? What does he do?
You get the Emperor's scream.
I need Gollum to say this.
He ruins it.
He ruined it.
So
I can't do Gollum.
one of the things that a lot of people believe about this scene in particular is that he did it to spite fans. There's a scene
good job.
Yeah, there's a scene
That's a great idea to do to your loyal fans that love your work.
Right. So there's
Great job.
There's a scene in episode 3 whenever Anakin becomes Darth Vader. He realizes that he's Darth Vader, and he says,
Let's make Batman gay. That'll teach us.
He screams out. He screams out, "No!" And everybody on the internet hated the way that he said no. But George Lucas didn't realize that it wasn't just everybody on the internet. And so he goes out and starts making comments about how he doesn't understand why people hate it and that the internet's an evil place because they hated this. And then he goes to places where there are real people and they're like, hey, I'm not on the internet. I also hated it because it was really dumb. It was terrible.
Yeah. Stop screwing with Star Wars.
Well, this was...
Just give us our stuff back.
This was in episode 3 and the original no that people hated.
Yeah.
So because people hated it so much, and this is where the idea that this is a spiteful thing that he did, was that he went back after the Blu-ray editions and then added this in, this no that we hear in the stuff that's on Disney Plus and on the streaming services. He added that in because fans hated it so much. He was like, you know what?
I hate it so much.
I'm just going to ruin this movie for you just a little bit.
I hate it so much.
By adding, and it is the exact same no that is in
Like the same
Revenge
sound
of the
clip?
Sith. It is the exact same sound clip that everybody hated, and he put it into one of the most powerful and beloved scenes of the entire franchise. Yeah, so there is a lot of thought out there that this was not just a response to that, but this was I'm going to spite our fans because of this. So the last thing that I want us to look at has to do, there's two things they have to do with the final scene, and that is the replacing of the celebration song.
Oh, I missed that song.
So there was this like huge celebration that you saw.
Everyone our age knows
in
what that
Return of
is.
the Jedi, right? And you get all of these, like it shows different planets, and there's this enormous symphonic thing, which is reminiscent of what happens or what you'll see at the end of episode 1. And all of this stuff. The original is way, way, way different. So you get Han and Leia's kiss, and then
The burning of Darth Vader.
So you get the burning of Darth Vader.
Oh, one thing I
This
thought
is-
about this scene was that seems a bit insensitive, seeing as how he became Darth Vader, burning in the lava.
Burning?
Okay, well, there is this rather odd thing that happens. Like when you saw the Force ghosts of...
They were kind of like off to the side. Like,
yeah, what did you think of Darth Vader's Force ghost?
It's Anakin.
Yeah, so this is the original celebration song.
I was thinking, because they don't show like actual Anakin until the prequels.
Right.
This is the only time where you see actual Anakin in...
Okay, so this is I think it's Yub Yub is what it's called or something like that. So
Yub.
This is the original. Okay, now here we go. When you look at the Force ghosts, you're not going to see... You're going to, in the middle of all of the Yub Yub, you're not going You're gonna have Obi-Wan the way he is. You're gonna have I think Yoda is there with him, and it is Anakin in
The old guy Anakin.
it is the old man with hair without the all the scars on his face. And we talked with the author of How the Force Can Fix the World, Stephen Kent, about this whenever he was on the show, and he said, well, it's because that Darth Vader became Anakin at the end because he gave over to the light. Well, if that's the case, then it stands to reason that it should be the old man, because that was the final form in which he gave up. But no, instead we get, and it's nothing wrong. Hayden Christensen didn't do anything wrong because he didn't write the part. But yeah, they put him in, and so time after time after time, about every 10 minutes in this film, there's something where I'm like, ugh, that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Man.
And it's so hard for me to watch these days.
Heather hates it when I put it on because
Yeah.
it just becomes me complaining.
Every time something
Yeah, oh,
happens,
for
you're like,
sure.
that's not
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't help it. I love it.
So get off my lawn.
Yeah, I'm such an old man. I love the movies, but
Yep.
when I see things that aren't right, I just get furious immediately. And she has to listen to it, which is why we're not allowed to watch it very often.
Yeah, and it's so weird because with A New Hope, there's one scene where that happens. There's just the one.
Yeah, it's a terrible one.
Right? And it's like
But, yeah.
this. I say it's the one scene. It's like this 10-minute period because it's the Han and Greedo
Yeah.
altercation. And then the other
I can
80
stomach-
minutes, the
I
other
can
80
stomach-
minutes of the movie, it's fine.
Yeah, I can stomach Han, that extra scene.
No,
I
I
can
can't.
stomach that.
I can't.
The
As a person who
Greedo
deals with
is
video
egregious.
editing, I cannot.
It's
I
terrible.
just can't get
It's
over
all pretty terrible.
because they're so
Are
happy
you
when
talking
you look
about
at
in
the
A New Hope?
Yes, they're so happy when you look at the behind the scenes footage about like, oh well, we didn't know what Jabba was going to be, so we made him this. So we just made Han step on his tail. Like it was a genius way to do it. It's like
And
no,
it looks awful.
it looks terrible. Jabba's face of going wah is not only like incredibly cheesy, but as I have shown it to kids, because like, well, you don't get it because Star Wars is for kids. Every kid that I've shown it to is like, that's stupid.
Star Wars is timeless.
I'm like, yeah, it is real dumb. It's real dumb that they made that happen. So outside of that, an Empire is fairly unadulterated, but man, he took my favorite Star Wars, which was Return of the Jedi.
That was mine growing up too.
And now I don't know that I put it in the top 5 right now.
Oh man.
Top 5, like
It's
of all
rough
6
of all
or
9.
Sorry,
Of all
yeah.
9, yeah. Yeah, I think it might be like the median one.
The original 3 are still in my top 3.
Yeah, my top 3 has shuffled a little bit.
What's your favorite, like all time?
Empire.
Empire.
Empire's the favorite all time. Number 2 for me is The Last Jedi.
No.
Because I think what
I can't
Ryan
wait for you to
Johnson,
catch up.
yeah, what Ryan Johnson
and
did
probably
there
agree with Lucas.
is amazing. So, welcome. Now that you've become a Star Wars, now we need to decide how we want to do the rest of this, right? Because
I think we stick with the movies.
well, do we want to do it in?
What we should do is the machete order.
So that's what I was going to ask. Is like, how should we do it? Part of me wants to say
Although-
machete order, but the thing is he should suffer like the rest of us did because
Well-
we've got to get the feedback off the dialogue from episode 2.
The only thing with that is in that order, you do not watch episode 1 at all.
Right. Which
Why wouldn't I watch episode 1?
Well, that in this order.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can do it in whatever order we want. But if we're following that order, you don't watch it because the man that made this order says that it has no consequence on the story. That's his
like
supposition.
nothing eventful happens
In episode 1, which you haven't seen yet.
yeah,
Is
which
episode 1 just like a kind of a recap, or not
No.
a recap?
No,
but
no,
just-
no. It's a totally different
prequel.
thing. If you're just watching the movies, episode 1 does not have. If you're just watching the Skywalker saga movies, so 1 through 9, then episode 1 does not have a lot of bearing on the story. If you're looking at Star Wars as a whole with the extended universe and
Yeah, it
everything,
definitely does.
Episode 1 is incredibly important in the grand scheme of things.
Just because the information it gives you.
Not just because of the
characters
information, but because of
introduced
Darth
and-
Maul and what
yeah.
Darth Maul's impact on the the extended universe is.
You probably could still just watch the show and you would be able to get it, but you would miss out. You'd miss out on some cool stuff.
Yeah,
but,
in particular, you miss out on Qui-Gon Jinn, which is likely the reason that a lot of people think that Anakin ends up the way that he is because of the lack of interaction with Qui-Gon. And Liam Neeson's brilliant in that movie. So is very young Ewan McGregor.
Liam Neeson is in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is confirmation that we've got to watch episode 1.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, just to be mad at it.
If you guys have any suggestions on how we should continue, if we watch the movies or we include Clone Wars in between, I guess that's where you're going.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because that's the thing, because there wasn't anything, so we go straight from episode 6 to episode 1, and we get 1, 2, and 3, and then after 3, before 7. So dumb. After 3 and before 7, there is all kinds of stuff that falls in between those. But I think you're right. I think we got to stick with the movies for.
I think we start.
Yeah, I think do all the movies first. And then
all right.
we'll go
So
back
in 2 weeks, and
continue.
you can catch it here. Actually, today is the day. It is Star Wars Day that this comes out, and it is this evening at 6 p.m. We've got a very special announcement, so make sure that you are by the channel as we have something that will be quite a game changer for our show, and maybe as it impacts the Christian nerd community, just sort of in general. So make sure that you're by the channel to check that out. You won't want to miss it, because the next time that we get together to do Camden Becomes a Star Wars Episode 1, huge announcements will have been made. We'll have some big news as far as the places where you can actually come and hang out with us. That'll be coming up in June. Some get-togethers, some meetups that we'll be doing in the DFW area. So make sure that you ding the little bell, that you subscribe so that you get your notifications, because tonight, May the 4th, 2023 at 6 p.m., we've got a major announcement that'll be happening. That's Camden, You got anything else?
I want to go to an Ewok party.
Me too.
Yeah, for sure.
You should bring that table. You could roast some of your friends on it.
Well, you guys stay hard, keep jamming, yub, and we'll see you.
Yub.